sorry, what?
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are a Mother. If you're new here, I'm glad you made your way to this space. This is where we get honest, real, and sometimes a little messy about motherhood, what it's like to be a single mom in your 30s, and just figuring your shit out. Today, we dive into something that hits a little close to home for me. It's actually going to be dating behaviors. More specifically, how to tell when your intuition is trying to protect you versus when your anxiety is just being loud. And can I just tell you, girl, mine is loud. So loud. Before I get too deep into today's episode, by the time this airs, this will be my youngest son's 9th birthday. My heart is literally so just, what the heck? I have to not cry because I keep telling myself that there's no way that he's growing up, because who gave him the nerve? What? Excuse me? That was rude. Very, 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 very rude. Now, just a quick recap from last week's episode. We talked about closing the chapter on the mystery man. Finally, we touched on letting go of the past and then the importance of gratitude for growth. We also welcomed someone new into the story, Mr. Carter. Just so y'all know, it's been going great. I do have to say I am very thankful for me being an overthinker and having a reassurer. It is pretty neat, regardless if we're love bombing each other. I think that's fun. I'm delusional, so I don't mind. No, it's been great. The kindness, the sincerity, the communication, I have truly appreciated. It has been nice because I have to admit, dating now after so long being just kind of out of the game, it's nerve-wracking. Now, trigger warning, because this week we are going a little bit deeper, because recognizing patterns is one thing, but learning how to respond differently, honestly, that's where the real healing happens. I gotta be honest, dating can bring up a lot of emotions. Really, just the excitement, the jitters, the butterflies, but also the little voice in your head that says, something is off, something is wrong. And then sometimes that voice isn't just intuition. I mean, it's anxiety in disguise. I'm very big on intuition. I like to read things. I like to look into stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can tell if he wanted to, he would, and he doesn't. He didn't call me a perfect angel baby lover today, so he must hate me. um, Honestly, that's so annoying. But how do you specifically tell the difference between your intuition and anxiety? I've done a little bit of research because, again, sometimes I think that I'm trusting my intuition, but I'm actually giving into my anxiety. So with a little bit of research and reassurance, intuition feels calm and clear even when it's uncomfortable. So you can understand that something is what it is and just move forward, even if they're giving you mixed signals, right? And then anxiety feels pretty loud and frantic and full of what ifs. What if I did something, or what if I said something, or what if I messed this up, or, just all the things that run through your head. Here's an even better example. If you're checking your phone every 5 minutes, rereading your texts, or assuming that silence means rejection, that's probably your anxiety talking. But if your gut says something doesn't, I don't know, something about this energy doesn't feel right, and it's quiet but steady, that's really your intuition. The trick is learning to pause and ask, is this fear based on evidence or is it based on my past? And honestly, like, where do these behaviors even come from? To these reactions, most of the time, they're not even about the person that's in front of us. They're really about what's behind us. I don't know about you or how you grew up, and maybe this doesn't relate to you, but I kind of want to paint more of a in-depth, relatable picture. Maybe you grew up having to earn love or attention. Maybe consistency wasn't something that you could always count on. Maybe you learned to read the room in order to stay safe. I know for me, I grew up with a multitude of these things. I was appointed as a responsible person when my mom died, and then my grandmother got custody of my brothers. She needed me to be more of a co-parent. So the attention of being a child, as far as like good grades, homework, accolades, that wasn't necessarily something that was focused on in our dynamic. It was, did you clean? Did you cook? Did you get things ready for X, Y, and Z? Did everyone get a shower? There's not, I didn't really get to necessarily be a kid. And even when I did have the opportunity to be a kid, it wasn't for very long because we were having to move. So, like, consistency definitely was not something that I necessarily could count on. And then I was surrounded by people who didn't really know how to handle me. Being someone who had ADD, ADHD on the spectrum, we can say now, let's clear the elephant in the room here. My stammer was something that was just out of this world. But I did have to read the room often in order to feel safe because there were people around me who didn't connect. Those same survival habits have absolutely followed me and can follow us into adulthood, but especially relationships. We call it trust issues, but really it's just our nervous system trying to protect us from being hurt again. For myself, when I got hurt, it felt like everyone that wanted to get close to me only wanted to weaponize my fears of abandonment and, I don't know, anxious attachment disorder, and to feel their validation that their role was necessary in my life. I had to then understand what boundaries were and then figure out what the bare minimum is. And let me tell you, surrounding yourself with people who hold themselves to a higher standards will lift your bare minimum bar out of Dante's Inferno. Because let's be so for real, we have got to stop giving our partners or people in our lives credit for just existing or showing up. There's got to be more than that. Just because you don't require a lot doesn't mean that you shouldn't accept less, like you deserve the most. And people who show up for you and care about you, those are the ones that, will help you raise your bar and not allow you to tolerate bullshit. And you shouldn't tolerate bullshit, literally ever, in your life. Just so you know. All right. So, how do we correct these behaviors, right? The first step is awareness. You have to name it to tame it. Because you can't heal what you don't name, what you consistently avoid, or what you don't work on. You're not gonna grow from that, When you feel yourself spiraling I have to tell you, journal. Write down what triggered you and how it made you feel. Honestly, naming it takes away its power. That's one of the biggest things I learned from my coaching sessions with Ashton. Shout out to Ashton with Onward Progression. That girl, I'm telling you, she saved my life. If it wasn't for her creating awareness in me that there are boundaries and that I have control of who I am, what my narrative is, what my story is, I wouldn't be where I am. And if you're ever interested in getting your life together, please reach out to her. Absolutely reach out to her. Now, next is communication instead of assuming. If something doesn't feel right, just say it. Like it's okay to ask for validation. I can't tell you how many times I have felt icky anxiety or just felt like there was a disinterest in me between me and Mr. Carter. Like maybe my jokes weren't as funny, or maybe I just wasn't as cute. Maybe I didn't say the right thing. And to have reassurance and not be too much is really cool. I know that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And the way that people respond to you when you're in need of something simple speaks volumes to the type of partner that they're going to be when times are actually hard. And I struggle with battling the voices in my head often that at some point they're going to get tired of me. And because I tell myself, or used to tell myself, that that's what always happens. And that's not the truth. Honestly, I allowed people to treat me poorly in the beginning and knew better, but accepted that anyways out of fear, I think, that I wouldn't be alone. Or I was more attracted to how they treated me in the beginning. And even though those red flags were there, me saying that I could stay through that would somehow make me a little bit more lovable. Honestly, I saw a lot of that in the new Love is Blind, and like, I don't know if anybody else is watching that, but oh my God, the season is absolutely vile. Mm. One poor girl literally begged someone who has got to be closeted, to be in her life or to be with her. And, not to say that there's anything wrong with that or to even throw shade that that's like a negative thing. But I mean, you can read the room. He called himself a size queen. And I, if you know, you know, like that just to me was everything. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. And then he tried to put up caulking or something with a caulk gun instead of a nail gun. I don't know. He just pretended to do work and it was really weird. And so that to me, like, I was just sad because it felt unhealed, you know? He communicated what he needed, but she wasn't in a space to receive it. And sometimes that's okay because you've got to remember that, like, it's not about it being perfect or being on script. Whatever happens needs to happen. It's about catching yourself sooner rather than allowing patterns and behaviors to just continue. Showing yourself compassion and trying again. Therapy helps, I will tell you that. Honest conversations help too. And most of all, please give yourself grace. That's been the only way for me personally that I've been able to get through a lot of shit. Because it's my first time here. Hopefully my last. The examples that I had were unhealed versions of other unhealed versions of other people who were wanting to build something that they had never had before. And seeing those examples trickle down and create broken generations and deciding that I want something a little different. I want things to look a little different. And if I mess up or if I make a poor decision, that is okay because it allowed for me to learn a lesson and grow and do better than I did yesterday. If you're still here, thank you. Truly, every listen. Oh, I just hit myself. Whoops. Every listen, every moment that you spend in this space really means so much to me. Like, you guys make this podcast what it is. Before I go, huge shout out to Trayvon's Car Repair. If you're in a jam, he can help you a ride anytime. How to get in touch with him, you can text or call this number here, 615-585-5469. He is a mobile mechanic and will get you squared away and save the day. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe everywhere that you hear your podcast. I am there. We're there. Also, please DM me your thoughts on this episode. I cannot express to you how awesome it is to hear what you guys have to say, connecting with you, your stories, and the way that sharing in this space has helped you, helped me. Like, it's just so much love. I can't even describe to you how awesome this feels to be here with you. Now, this week's tip, if you find yourself overthinking, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself right now? And is it actually true? Sometimes it's not about what they did, it's about what we've been taught to expect. Unspoken expectations will lead to disappointment, and disappointment will lead to resentment, therefore causing a weird cycle. Just communicate. Just accept and say thank you. A lot of the time it's okay. It's more okay than we even realize. Now, my mom mantra of the week is my worth is not determined by who shows up for me. It's reflected in how I show up for myself. Consistency is key. I decided to do another 75 hard challenge to end out the year. It's coming up fast, and clearing my head, clearing my mind, focusing on my body and spirit has been one of the most awesome healing journeys. My journey. It's my journey. But it's really helped me in more ways than I can even describe, for my self-esteem, for my health, for wanting to just be generally better for me. You know, like, I deserve it. And so I'm going to treat myself the best that I know that I can, because, like, I only get one me. Coming up in future episodes here in a few weeks, we're going to be sitting down with Paige Malaya Corley, but don't get crazy. And that is honestly so funny, you guys. I can't wait for us to tell that story. We're going to be talking about her work in the medical field as a doula, also talking about growing up in her community, as well as growing up and how we met, and her mom's story as well. I'm also going to be sharing with you a little bit more into the life of research, planning, growth, and the steps that really have helped me move forward and where I am. I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful. And to say that while PMSing, oh my God, please, Katie bar the door. Like, I don't even know who I am right now, but I am in such a space of acceptance and happiness because I've been taking this time to do this work, and I'm happy to share it with you all. Take that into your week, Mama. You deserve peace and clarity and a love that feels safe. And I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye.